What's going on, everybody? Hello, party people. My name is Terminus, and today you are getting an exclusive low poly impromptu reaction to Techhnolyze episode 15. You can thank my DSLR camera for that because it keeps running out of battery, overheating, and not transferring the files I needed to transfer from the SD card. I fucking need a fucking capture card, but I don't have the money for it. Anyway, that being like, putting that aside, I could be watching YouTube videos right now. I could be like working on other stuff, but I want to record shit. And I can't record Arcane Season 2 because I need my 4K camera for that shit, right? Okay, I mean, maybe most of you don't care about 4K. Do let me know if you actually like the 4K or don't like the 4K. It's certainly like the fidelity is probably also up from the 1080p recordings, even if I would be putting on and rendering the video in 1K. But either way, but the camera in general is obviously better. And maybe I should be doing like the normal Techhnolyze or monster reactions just in normal 1080p, and that would be quicker and it wouldn't have that much of a file size. I could store more reactions at once. I could probably do more junk sometimes. It wouldn't take that much time to transfer files, at least as long as I don't have an SD card reader, which I'm gonna get soon. I'm soon have one of those, so that might be a step up for me. But either way, at the moment my camera is not usable, so what you're getting is a low poly, like off colors reaction for Techhnolyze episode 15 in my like simple fucking hoodie. Congratulations, you have an extra episode right now. Normally I wouldn't be recording this. I would be recording Arcane and that stat, right? But let's just jump into it, right? Last time we had some very interesting developments. I do wonder where this is going, right? The dog and Ichise narrowly escaped from the would-be assassins of them, and the dog got kind of kicked to the curb by the people she came from. So you know the deal. We're gonna sync up with the normal stuff that's happening here after the OP, because I can't show the OP on YouTube. The OP, however, for everybody who's watching the like Patreon version, starts in 3, 2. Also, I'm sorry if I instinctively look over there, which is normally where the camera is, when I actually wanted to look at you guys. Shapes. All right. Here he is. What kinds of shapes? Actually, I think we were like only like 5 or 7 minutes, so 7 episodes away from the actual finale. So technically 14 weeks at most. Who the fuck died? Well, I mean, I guess the people we saw dying last time. It's very interesting, especially when you see like the white in the back, the white backgrounds. It feels like we're looking at paper in this series. So I assume these were actually drawn on paper back then when Techhnolyze was made. Each slightly smiling at that, looking at Toyama. Toyama is playing his own game, right? He wants to go somewhere. The fuck just happened? Wait, he's like... It's like he's controlled by something. Tsushinaka. Yeah, it's like he was like just used as a puppet basically. Like it wasn't his own free will. I mean, maybe it was, but it felt that way. What the fuck is this angle? Holy shit.
先々週からこれで4人目だ。大方オルガのか連合にしけ込んだんだろうが、なんかおかしな話があんだよ。タカを最後に見たのは幸男なんだが、一昨日の夜中、東十番のあたりをバカでかくて真っ白なやつと歩いてたって、まるで幽霊みたいな。足りねえんだよな。え？
What's missing?
オルガのや連合でもいなくなったやつがいるらしいんだ。おいシンジ。
What's missing, Shinji? He ain't listening. He's deep in thought. Like there's something going on within him. He seemed, yeah. Ooh, and then he came back. People disappear and then they turn up again, being turned, kind of. Ghost. Ghosts abduct them. Outside forces. The Union doesn't operate that way. Yeah. This lighting is great. Onishi trying to keep everything together. What kind of haircut? That leash. He's treating him almost like a son, basically. It feels like. I hate. Holy shit! What is this fucking shot? There's some nice CGI usage. He's like, this might be a trap, but let's go for it. Oh, alright. I mean, I guess... Doesn't seem to be effective. Go. I mean, he understands, I guess. That's a very unusual episode. City's voice. What does it mean, though?
あの人になりたいと願うだけでも大したものだわ。お前、何言ってんだ。だってあなた、大西になりたいんでしょ?
Yeah, I mean, we saw that earlier on already, right? This ambition in him. And maybe he does think or did think that he has something to offer to the city.
もういいじゃねえか。あいつは行っちまったんだ。なあ、ヨコ、俺を見てくれよ。
Well, what's happening here? I know they say ghosts, but do they mean robots? Like in like just completely technolized bodies? This is like insane. It looks like it's from the class or whatever, right? Dude, the artistry of this, look at this angle. The artistry of this show just continues to impress me. The way we set up the shots and the wires and the archways, and it's so mesmerizing on many levels. And it looks really Onishi-esque. Holy shit, we're just right in within a real-life mafia war, basically. Doc? What's happening, Doc? This would be a very unceremonious end if she was just dying here. Like, what happened to her? Why did she drop her glass? Onishi? Onishi literally getting a heart attack or something. Bro, who are you? Oh yeah, you're the guy, right? The brother who got the legs. Or who gave the legs. No, who you gave the legs for. Bro, everybody's suddenly dead. I mean, he is too fast for you. Love the run shots. This is a bloody turf war. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Holy shit, he looks so fucking slick in that. Yeah, I mean, you were right the first time. At this point, I don't even know what's happening or at the very least, what some of them are planning. I know what's happening, but I don't know what they're planning exactly. Boring personality making the city. Everyone is entitled to assert themselves. Impure. Sophisticated egotism. Oh, we need to dissect that because I'm not sure what he means. And who are you to play God? I'm just expecting him to go for it. Ugly harmony. I do like Onishi. The main question I'm asking myself is by whose design is it all falling apart, right? Or is anybody trying to just gain some kind of objective or upper hand and none of them are really in control? Not Onishi, not the class, not Gabe.
大西んとこのそうかしくじったのか園田は死んだ園田が死に俺も死ぬ俺たちは誰に踊らされたんだ俺を切っても何も解決しやしねえやるべきことは他にあるんじゃねえのか俺がやるべきことは鉄砲玉にこんな話をしても仕方ねえオルガノは潰れるぞてめえそれでも
Alright, he's following through on it.
Whatのお出迎えだお前ら
シンジ、俺らがんやめるわ。
何
もうここにいても仕方がねえ。それに気がついた。
本気で言ってるのか
俺たちは今まで自由にやってきた。だから出ていくのもそうさせてもらう。
But what's the reason?
待てよ何があったんだよ
ハル、何考えてんだよ。私たち今まで仲間だったじゃない。
もう今までみたいにはいかねえんだよ。信じよう。次に会うときはきっと俺も変わってるわ。その時はお前のこと殺すと思うから。
ハル、
好きなようにしろ
ハル。
The way they interact is so strange to me.
放っておけ
It feels so like stiff and weird. Like, was that interaction earlier between him and her actually... Was that actually her? Or... It feels so weird. Right, let's speed back through it and see how this goes. Okay. Boom. We're gonna start out here. The title of this episode is Shapes, which is very interesting. Shapes. It's maybe the title is referring to those weird, like technolized, almost mannequin bodies we saw for a second. Maybe it doesn't, right? Maybe it's the ghosts. Like we start out at this funeral. It's very interesting how we built these almost same-ish monolithic blocks out of everything. But maybe it's a little bit strange for me that there's like this politicking is going on and I don't know everybody within the city or within the structure of the city by like sight. That is a big problem maybe for me, that like a mistake I made in just thinking that Onishi and a couple of key players like Shinji are very important in the story, and that I haven't really kept an eye on all of the other players that are moving around within the city. But it feels some of them are really dying, and others of them like just like are trying to betray one another, but I don't really know who is allied with whom, right? Who is like in which direct position. I've seen them all at the table, but I don't have an idea of what kind of organization they're leading and who is allied with whom. I mean, we know that Toyama has kind of seemingly allied himself with Tsujinaka, but we see at the end of the episode that he's actually not and just pretended to, right? Like, we have like, must be recently, but it's a surprise. He was such a favorite of Kohakura, and Kohakura is actually the one who in the end is still, he's like, that Toyama is still with, basically. But all of these things, that taking them apart is really hard. And we do see like almost they're getting hacked, right? They're getting just instrumentalized in a way. Right, we have the shooter and everybody's is like protecting the guy, and then we kind of disable the situation basically, right? But the only person dying is actually one of them, like carrying the casket, which is, I think, not supposed to be the one who's being shot, but maybe I'm wrong. Right? Shinji, we lost contact with Taka this time. He's the fourth one in 2 weeks. So I feel 4 people in 2 weeks. I probably just switched over to the Organo or the Union, but there's this funny story that the last guy who saw Taka was Yukio, and he says that 2 nights ago, Taka was walking near East 10th in the middle of the night with a huge, stark white guy who looked like a ghost, right? Like one of those marionettes. And then Shinji's like, it's missing. What is missing? What's missing for Shinji here? Because he's saying it's missing, not they are missing, right? And he's like, And I heard more members of the Organo and Union have gone missing also. Right, wait, we had that for a second. No, this one here. That Kawamata. Thanks to him, we're in deep trouble. Kawamata was one of his guys, right? And he wonders how he, like, because he went missing and now he turned up and is suddenly, like, trying to assassinate somebody. So there's somebody hacking people and trying to solve the chaos that's going on. But we don't know if that's Toyama and Bakura, or and connected to Onishi, or if it's actually like this outsider, like the blue-haired dude. Either way, like Shinji's picking up Onishi's secretary, while Ichise is more and more trying to like maybe come after Onishi when it comes to like just following his general, like being his right-hand man, basically. Yes. And they're kind of flirting and whatnot, but I guess maybe she might be sowing distrust as well, or at the very least, maybe she's scoping out stuff and getting information. Did you know that Onishi sometimes hears the city's voice? Such beautiful art, right? With the archway and the way the river flows, and see that river bank and whatnot, and she's giving him props for like trying to be like Onishi. She's like, but she's also like, there's nobody else like Onishi. I'm saying you want to become Onishi, don't you? And we do see like the water surface rippling, basically. Okay, I asked during the reaction, I was like, the question is, does Shinji believe that he has something that Onishi couldn't provide for the city? Or is it pure ambition of just wanting to follow in his footsteps and be the next one? It's so weird how we like, look at me please and whatnot, and she's not reacting at all. Like she doesn't seem human while she is interacting with him in this specific scene. It does seem so weird and stilted, and she's just not doing anything and saying anything and having even facial expression, and she just walks off. And then he suddenly, like, it's almost like all of that's happening right here in this moment is this cage, basically, is that she is not even real and she is his imagination almost. Because later on in the other scene, when Shinji is actually present, she seems completely different than where she was right here, right? Where she's just like dead, like a fish in the water. Love the angles we're using once again, right? Like this, like overshadowing or whatnot, like oppressive in a way. And then we look over and everything turns weird, right? We have this like robot, and suddenly the robot disappears, and now we zoom to the place that the robot was just a second ago, but we see nothing. Basically, we look onto him from the scene here, and then the next scene is just like our headquarters basically pressing down on us. this shot too, like the road that's like just going down the hill, and we have that huge bridge that almost looks like the other bridge, and we're looking like we're having quite like a straight look at the city with the white background and how the wires go into the city almost like a nervous system, and the obelisk standing out in the middle of the city all the way away from there. We want to go to like the Great Father and whatnot. Onishi wanted Ichi to come with them, and it's like, holy shit, they're getting attacked, right? It's like a mafia style takeover. I was like, Sonoda-san, they're Tsujinakas, right? I reckon they are really serious, right? And we just kind of flee, and then we have all of that shootout and whatnot. I don't know what's happening with the doc, because we have like her, I guess she might be getting hacked just like Onishi is getting hacked right here. Everything is grayscale except for the seat that she's in, which is very interesting. It feels like she is, in this moment, she's just like very frozen in time here. But we don't know what's happening to her. We blend away and actually come to Onishi, where he suddenly suffers some kind of fallout. And suddenly we get like the slow reveal, first of all, that he, Sonada-san, or Kohakura, I think that's his first name, is actually, like, first of all, he's pretending to help him here. But then we're actually, at the end of it, he's actually gonna shoot him, and he's gonna pretend that the other guys, like Tsujinakas, did actually shoot him. This is how he's cleaning up, basically. The question is that what Onishi wanted? Because Onishi actually was trying to hold everything together, right? And trying to kind of just... But he's like, this is the Organo way, you're part of the Organo. So I'm wondering in which way that conflicts or conjoins with what Onishi would want to clean up, basically. Could be a good thing for Onishi, but it could also be something where Kohakura is actually like, I'm doing my own thing, I'm having my own plans or whatever, right? A huge council system. Okay, but let me go back. It's right that you're in such a position that requires you to be an egoist. In Lucas, everyone is entitled to assert himself. A huge council system led by a mind that lacks self-awareness. A huge council system led by a mind, in this case Onishi, that lacks self-awareness. That is impure. Things must be purer and more arbitrary. What is the connection between pure and arbitrary? Arbitrary means random, right? In a way, like just whatever. And that is like, he doesn't like the system. Sophisticated egoism and style are needed. He's like, we need people who are arrogant, I guess, and who have style, but I have no idea what to make of his words, because it feels like he's just talking about nonsense, and we don't understand where his perspective comes from. By simply adding a mere stroke to it, another person could reduce a masterpiece to a total failure. Yeah, I get that, right? Like, you have a great painter, he's painting a masterpiece, and somebody who has no idea about it is just painting something over it, and suddenly it doesn't work anymore. Harmonious order is an illusion. So what do you want? Chaos? Do you want just like total destruction? I believe that is how a city should be. I don't understand. Harmonious order is an illusion. I believe that is how a city should be. So do you believe that the city should be in harmonious order, which itself is an illusion? So the city is in an illusion, exists within an illusion? Or do you believe that harmonious order is an illusion and the city should be less orderly and more chaotic? Because he's like saying, I will change the city. You are a boring human being, but I value you as a necessary resource. You're telling me to become a soldier of the class. A soldier of the class. And he's the class, right? This ugly harmony that you're so desperately trying to protect will cease. It's only a matter of time. You can put an end to it with your own hands just as well. Don't underestimate me. Despite how it may appear, you have an ego of considerable size. There's no need to be so hasty in making decisions. There's still time. Time for what? We're all speaking in riddles once again, right? What does the class want? Resources? Right? Like what is like intellectual stimulation? Do they experiment? Do they want to achieve some kind of thing, or are they just playing around? Right? What do they believe a city is supposed to be? I read a comment just recently where it's like, where it's paralleling Techhnolyze in many ways with like how Lucas is being organized and how Yoshi comes in as kind of similar to how Nietzsche's and thus spoke Zarathustra, I don't know how to pronounce that, but how that is done. But I experienced that in a completely different way, right? Like how this person who was I mean, I guess maybe I need to reread it again to kind of just maybe get my head deeper into it, because it's been quite a while since I read it and I didn't read all of the book. But it happens a lot, by the way, that I don't read all of a book, unfortunately, because something comes in between and I never get it up. I would have to read it from the beginning on to kind of make better sense of it again. But the way I saw it is kind of just like that. There was this idea about like just surpassing humanity in its current form, right? The idea of the Übermensch being more on along the lines of leaving behind this stage that we are at, right? It's kind of maybe evolving from our kids stage to our grown-up stage of like a species, basically. So the question is, what does that mean for Lucas and what exists on the outside of that? We haven't seen enough about like what kind of world that Yoshi comes from, right? Does he come from the proverbial heaven, the enlightenment, the hill, basically, the peak of the mountain, and does he make the journey down and kind of try to sow the seeds for a new society, or what is happening here? Because from our perspective, Yoshi is just sowing destruction, right? He's sowing unrest, he's killing people and creating ripples within a society that formerly was so or mostly harmonious, had an order, right? And it seems like the class is trying to do something similar. And where does Gabe fit in all of that, right? We don't know that. Why is Ichise following Hokuakura-san, right? Why is his word law in this specific case? And why does this interaction here between Shinji and his people, the Rakan, seem so fucking insanely wooden and stilted, and as if the people opposite of him here are like hell and whatnot, as if they are just marionettes being used at this point, right? Being controlled from somebody else, right? Because it feels like it's not himself, although maybe I'm being wrong, like I'm misinterpreting that here, and I'm completely off base in that regard. Because he's not saying why he's leaving. He's like, I'm leaving the Rakan. He's like, why? Because I shouldn't stay any longer, or things aren't good any longer, right? He's like, it's not good staying any longer. Why? Right? Because of like that conflict of interest that you have with Shinji, where you want the girl, but the girl wants Shinji. He's like, I just realized that. Are you serious? We've always been free to do whatever we wanted. Of course, that's their philosophy. I get that. So I'm free to leave. But it's like, he's not answering the question of why, what's going on? He's like, what happened to you? And she's like so much more vivid in this situation, where I'm like almost like she's exchanged from where she was before in the scene between her and Hal. We've all been friends. Things can't remain as they have been anymore. Next time we'll meet, I'll have changed. Why is he saying it like in such a weird way? And I think I'll be killing you then. Why? How? Right? It's like, does he know he's gonna get hijacked, and wants to like kind of get away and warn Shinji? Or is he just already hijacked and he's just talking like weird vague phrases why he's leaving to kind of just get disappeared. But Shinji's like accepting that, and I do wonder why he's accepting it so easily, right? If there's a reason why he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense that he's leaving, or if he's like, something's going on, I need to investigate that, but I'm not going to confront him with it right here. Leave him alone. And him looking back to her, but she's confused as fuck, so it's like, did that interaction between them really happen the way he perceived it to happen? And I'm like, such a weird episode once again, but hey, it is what it is. Alright, last episode of Techhnolyze. We did it on like 1080p, weird colors, low volume, old webcam style, blast from the past. But yeah, go check out my other content. Most of it is recorded with the other camera. Not that, I don't know, I think a lot of you don't care, they just care about me just talking about my stuff, but I really like the new camera, the colors and everything I can do with it. And it's sometimes frustrating if then like the file sizes are huge, if like stuff that's happening is like, for example, the problem with the file transfer, batteries getting low, cameras overheating, all of that stupid shit, which probably, I'm gonna be honest, if I could get an Elgato 4K capture card for like, I don't know, 100 something, I probably would be able to solve most of these issues. I already got myself, or I'm already getting myself an SD card reader, so I can at least put the problem onto something else, so I don't have to transfer media files from my camera directly to the PC, but I can just like slot in the SD card reader, basically put it in, and then let the camera charge with the battery and whatnot, or cool down, and then it's a lot easier, probably a lot faster file transfer, and also like just a lot simpler the way it's going. But we're going at this piece by piece, and we don't have all of the puzzle pieces yet. I do hope that I can soon transfer my files and I actually can start and do the arcane reaction today, because there would still be enough time to actually do it today and wrap it up and get some stuff done tomorrow that I actually need to do before I'm going into the holidays. Either way, do let me know if you do care at all that I'm recording in 4K for stuff like Techhnolyze and Monster, if you do enjoy that, or if you're like, okay, like it's not like, because normally for those people who like to watch in 4K and for those people who like to watch in 1K and might have sometimes buffering issues or issues with like the bit rate, right? Because for those, I actually like to do it in 4K, because if YouTube gets a 4K video, a lot of people have found out that if you upload in 4K, that even the 1080p videos have a higher bitrate, right? They get like the premium bitrate basically of YouTube. I don't know if that's still the case, but I think like my information on this is pretty accurate and up to date on that, so it's very interesting. But if you say like back in the day when I was still doing 1080p videos or whatever, it was fine for you, then I might consider actually going down to 1080p for at least like reactions like Monster or something, where you all like, first of all, it's a little bit more of an older series, and second of all, most of you probably only care about me talking about the shit and whatnot. And the camera is still really high quality, no matter if it's 4K or if it's 1K. You can see like my Disco Elysium videos, which admittedly have like only a small window in the corner of me, but even like my intros on the Disco Elysium video is still looking okay, and that's not 1080p, that's 720p, right? Rendered in like upscale rendered in 1080p with DaVinci Resolve, but like it's 720p from the camera resolution itself. But yeah, all kind of technical stuff that's more important for probably me as the content creator than it is for you all out there. But if you do notice stuff like that, obviously definitely let me know what you think about it, if it matters to you at all or if it doesn't. That being said, I do hope all of you who are on Patreon, you have a very wonderful Christmas, holidays and everything, and you'll have a nice start into the new year. For everybody who's probably seeing that after New Year's, I do hope you had a good start into the new year, and I hope you're enjoying yourself on YouTube as well. And I'll see you next time.